Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Today I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit different, and that is my most unpopular Pokemon collecting opinions. Now, honestly, we're all very unique collectors and we all have different opinions, and I can tell you there are plenty of popular sentiments out there when it comes to Pokemon card collecting that I don't really share. And so I wanted to just share with you guys some of my probably most controversial opinion when it comes to Pokemon card collecting, because I'm sure you guys probably have some hot takes as well that most of the hobby might not appreciate or agree with, and I think that's completely fine. I think that's what makes it so interesting, is that we all have very different opinions on what's the best cards to collect, what's good, what's not, what's hot, what's not really hot, stuff like that. So today I want to talk about some of what I would say are probably some really controversial takes that are probably going to get me some serious dislikes, and maybe you guys don't think so. So let's talk about some of them. First up, let's talk about one of the more interesting takes I have, and that is first edition Pokemon cards. I absolutely despise first edition Pokemon cards. I don't like them, I don't enjoy them, I don't really collect a lot of first edition Pokemon cards. Now, we haven't had first edition Pokemon cards for a very long time, and a lot of people ask for them to come back. I completely disagree with that sentiment. I don't think we need first edition Pokemon cards. I think they just add another layer of complexity to Pokemon card collecting that we don't really need. Between a regular Charizard and a first edition Charizard, we all know how expensive the first edition Charizard is. However, in my personal opinion, I think you're just better off collecting the unlimited version of Charizard, just because to me, that first edition stamp doesn't really mean that much to me. It certainly doesn't mean enough to make a $300,000 difference in the price. Now, if someone out there really appreciates that first edition stamp, then go ahead. You can buy that very expensive Charizard. But at the end of the day, for me, that first edition stamp doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't mean anything to me, and I've never really appreciated it. Now, there are people out there that I'm sure go wild and crazy for first edition cards. If it's not first edition, they won't even think about it. But that's not me. If there is a non-first edition version of a card, I will probably just collect the cheaper version and use the extra money that I have from savings from not buying that extra first edition card to just buy something else that is more affordable, you know. I use that money for something else. So that's my first big hot take, is that I really don't like first edition cards. I don't think we need them in the hobby, and I just think it adds a layer of confusion, right? Because when you start collecting cards, you're gonna have to start thinking about like, oh, do I want to buy the first edition or the unlimited version? It makes searching for cards really complex, and you're gonna have to start asking which one is more expensive, how much is which one worth, and stuff like that, and it's just not worth the hassle to me. So I actually really enjoy not having first edition cards. So that's my first big hot take. I say my second controversial take is that I really hate how we currently buy, sell, and trade Pokemon cards. I really hate it, and I just don't enjoy selling or buying Pokemon cards right now. I do still do quite a bit of it, but I just hate the process, if that makes sense. There's so many issues with it, you know. Buying Pokemon cards, you just never know what condition your Pokemon cards are going to come in. Sometimes you think you're getting a fantastic deal and it comes and the card is completely damaged, the card might be fake. There's still so many risks when it comes to buying Pokemon cards. Buying sealed products is a little bit safer, but it's still not that safe. There's still a lot of scams out there. There's still a lot of fakes out there. You can definitely buy fake booster boxes. I've heard stories, horror stories of people buying, you know, multiple XY Evolutions booster box for $800 a piece, and it turns out each one of those XY Evolutions booster box was completely fake, and they were just out of luck. There was no way to get their money back. It's pretty darn scary. And it's the same way when it comes to selling Pokemon cards. Sometimes I'll sell a card, I think it's near mint, and the buyer disagrees, and there's nothing really I can do about it. It's just so confusing, convoluted, and annoying. So that's another area of the hobby that I really dislike, and I wish that we had a better way to just collect Pokemon cards that just makes it so much easier. That system is not quite there yet, but maybe someday. So that's two of my big hot takes already. My third big hot take, and I think this one's also going to be pretty controversial. I really dislike any card that has a stamp version, and this is outside of first edition stamp. I'm really talking about the cards that say anything from League promo, first place, second place, third place promo, GameStop promo, Toys R Us promo, just about anything that has a stamp or some kind of design on top of the cards. Even something like the staff promos, I don't really enjoy those, and there's a bunch of different reasons for those. The big one is that I think it's a little bit lazy to just add a stamp to a pre-existing card, and I think some people might agree with me on that. If the card has a unique artwork, a holographic pattern, something of that nature, then I can completely understand why you would want that card. The fact that it says staff on it is just a little bit of an extra bonus. However, when you have a card that already exists and all you're doing is adding a stamp on top of that card, I think that's just really lazy as far as a collectible goes, and I don't appreciate those. So I don't like copy versions of cards, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And adding the word staff to a card does not make a card more valuable to me. In fact, to me, I almost like devalue that card just because that's just a card from someone who worked at an event, you know. That doesn't mean anything special to me. It's great that that person got that promotional card, right? Kudos to them, because they do deserve something for working at an event. However, that card in itself is special to that person. It doesn't mean anything to me because it's not like a trophy card, for instance. I suppose in that respect, I can understand why a first, second, third place card might be a little bit more valuable, because that can be considered trophy card of sort, kind of like the League promo. But I still stand by my statement that I think it's a little bit lazy that the artworks aren't unique. At the very least, the pre-release cards that they do nowadays are true unique cards, right? The pre-release cards inside of the little $20 build and battle boxes, those pre-release promo cards that you get inside of every one of those build and battle box are unique in terms of their artwork, which I really appreciate nowadays. The fact that they say the word pre-release on them, that's just a nice little bonus, you know? So that's I would say another hot take of mine, is that I don't really enjoy stamps or copycat version of pre-existing cards. Are you still with me? Have you disliked the video yet? Because we're going to continue on. I got a couple more hot takes that I'm sure some of you guys would be interested in. And maybe you share these exact same opinions and you're thinking, what's the big deal? None of these opinions seem that controversial to you. Well, to some people, this is a huge deal. You would not believe it. So let's move on to my next hot take. And that one is, I really think modern Pokemon cards look significantly better than vintage Pokemon cards. There are people that will definitely say vintage was way better, the cards look great, and I agree, there are definitely some uniqueness to vintage Pokemon cards that you just don't see in modern art. The vintage cards, there was definitely a lot less computer generated artwork, and it was mostly just watercolor. Wow, this is an interesting booster pack. It was actual true artwork, and so many of the modern Pokemon card art is just a lot of computer generated art, so I can definitely appreciate the vintage art. But overall, I know some people want to return to the days where the best pull you can get from a booster pack is a holo rare, but I don't think we can go back to those days, you know. I think most people would prefer seeing alternate arts, full art trainer cards, rainbow rare, and really flashy holographic patterns. I know those are not for everyone, but for me personally, I would say overall, I prefer the aesthetic of modern Pokemon cards and what I can pull in a modern booster pack over a vintage booster pack. Every now and again, I still open up some old booster pack. I opened up a fossil booster pack just a couple of months ago, and yeah, it's just not that much fun to open up some really expensive booster packs, and the cards just don't do it for me. And if they do it for you, then great. However, I just prefer what we have right now with modern. I think over the last couple of years, the Pokemon Company has hit it out of the park with what I would want out of a set. Some of these recent sets are just fantastic. You know, Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance are just great for me. I just really like the artwork, and I like the direction that the hobby is currently headed. So that's probably my next hot take, but I think I still have one left in the tank. Final hot take, and that is, I think I have too many Pokemon cards. I don't know if this is at anyone else's level, but I've noticed it in my own collection for sure, is that I have way too many cards to definitely manage, and I'm starting to get to the point where I recognize that having a more selective collection is certainly better. And this does not mean I'm going to stop collecting Pokemon cards. I'm going to collect a ton of cards, but the big point is I want to collect things that really resonate and matter to me. I want to have less stuff stowed away inside of a closet and more stuff I can appreciate directly on display. So what I mean by that is, in most of your guys' collection and with my own collection, I've noticed that I just have way too much bulk. There's just so many Pokemon cards lying everywhere. Not even talking about commons or uncommons, because I'm sure if you open up just a couple booster packs, you start getting some serious stack of commons and uncommons. I'm talking about even things like the ultra rares, the full art rainbow rares and whatnot. Some of the cards that are worth just a couple of dollars, definitely not bulk, but at the same time, they're not cards that you really want to ever display, or maybe you do, but they don't really resonate with me. So it's really hard for me to display just random ultra rares like this Galarian Moltres V. And those are the cards where I'm thinking like, what do I do with these cards, you know? So yeah, I would say the definite more challenging part right now for me is, how do I manage a massive collection, you know? Sometimes those can be the fun period, is just sorting through Pokemon cards, but definitely when you look at just massive stacks of just cards that are unsorted, you can definitely take a deep sigh and just imagine like, man, how do I even manage this? So that's probably my last hot take. Is I know it's a real first world problem, but yeah, stacking Pokemon cards is just the most challenging part. There's just so many cards out there, and so I can definitely appreciate the people that buy one booster box, keep it sealed, and they move on to the next set. That's pretty much all they do. I think it's a very simplistic approach, but I appreciate what they're going for, because that is pretty much a tried and true strategy. If you go into every Pokemon card set, buy one sealed booster box, and add it to your collection, you're gonna go places. It's not going to be the most fun way to collect Pokemon cards, but it's definitely the most hands-off and safest approach to collecting Pokemon cards. So yeah, for me, opening up Pokemon card booster packs is always going to be an experience. I love it. I love doing it with friends. I love doing it with you guys. But man, when you have stacks of Pokemon cards, it's definitely very challenging. I know people ask me all the time, what do I do with my bulk? And I do all kinds of different stuff. Sometimes I'll donate it. Sometimes I'll give it away to the local trading card hobby shop for other kids to play with. And other times I just figure out ways that I can provide it back to the community. So there's definitely different approaches that you can take. But wow, yeah. Those are pretty much all of my major hot takes. Please let me know down in the comment what you think your most unpopular opinion when it comes to Pokemon card collecting is, because I'm sure there are plenty of it. I disagree with a lot of different people, and that's completely okay. You can definitely have a very different approach to mine when it comes to collecting Pokemon cards. There's no right or wrong way to do it, honestly. Pokemon cards are toys, and if you want to play with them, that's completely fine. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys appreciate today's video. I really enjoy doing this hobby, and I plan on doing many more videos to come. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.